Welcome into First Class, the podcast where we talk about the second-class New York Jets. I'm your host, Joey Bonsanti. Sitting across from me, as always, Tony Vegas. A little bit of a different look. You guys are seeing us on the Vultures Row feed. We are no longer the Vultures Row. Tony got into a massive argument, fist fight actually, with his brother-in-law.
Oh yeah,
I'm just kidding. Pat just has a busy life, and we've now transitioned and thought it would be a good idea to rebrand. So here we are with First Class, logo made by yours truly, and tons of revisions and input from Tony as well. But yeah, this is going to be different for us. You know, we've never really dove into a full podcast with just myself and Tony. So here we are, and I'm looking forward to hitting the off season with you, Tone, and getting into it. What's your inaugural first words to the people listening to First Class?
Yeah, no, farewell, Pat. Bro became a lawyer and decided to, big league us. So we rebranded, and I don't know. I think it's kind of badass, dude. I like the name. I think this was an improvement overall in terms of name. We're obviously going to miss Pat's charisma and mediocre gambling takes, but it's going to be fun, man. We're really looking forward to it. Obviously, we missed like a good chunk of the off season in terms of like DC and obviously today's news, but we're going to dive into it, man. What better day to do this than the day we got our offensive coordinator?
Absolutely. I mean, kind of a wild. Everyone talks about the process. We're not going to hammer it down over and over again because everyone's heard it. Funny thing, we haven't recorded a podcast since December 12th, so it's almost been 2 months. We've had a nice little break here, but we are like literally the perfect day to jump back into it as the Jets hire Frank Reich. So obviously everyone knows that this process kind of flipped on its head. Engstrand got, whether it was fired, let go, mutually agreed to part ways because of the way that they thought they'd bring in some sort of senior type of guy like Reich. What was your reaction today when they hired Reich? Do you expect that, because now they have to fill out every part of the staff, right? Defensive and offensive. They let go a lot of people so far. What was your reaction today, and how do you kind of see, the Greg Romans, the Bevels, are those guys still on the table for you for the rest of the staff?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude. I've tweeted this out too. The process was obviously it was what it was. It was terrible, right? You'd never want. I think the plan. We know what the plan was. I don't have to break it down for you guys. Glenn wanted to hire Wink and Reich, keep Engstrand in the OC spot, and he wanted to hire Reich as that kind of senior, guy on that staff. Somewhere along the way, Woody obviously intervened, and I actually know this. Woody had that conversation with Glenn where you're getting one of Reich or Wink. He obviously went with the senior guy on the offensive side of the ball. Tanner Engstrand said, "Fuck that! I'm out of here. I'm going to go to Stefanski's staff, where I'll probably get an OC job next year."
Which good for him.
Exactly, great for him. I'm happy for that he did that. And then Glenn is going to go out on his shield and call the defensive plays. I think this should have been the case the entire time. Aaron Glenn, why the fuck is Woody Johnson paying you $12 million if you're going to bring in all these expensive coordinators like Frank Reich, like Wink Martindale? And, I heard this elsewhere too. If you're going to break the money up like that, bring in Greg Roman, right? I'm sure Reich probably cost around $3 to $4 million to get him to come here. Bring in Greg Roman and Darren Bevel, dude. Greg Roman's a fantastic run game coordinator. Obviously he had all those years with the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. That worked out great. Maybe we should bring back Justin Fields, right? I think that's on the table now. I'm kidding.
Bring Greg Roman in.
I think he's like a great run game coordinator. And Darren Bevel, dude, again, not the worst like passing game coordinator, QB coach. I think it's like an adult room all of a sudden. If they get those guys, they bring in the unction, like I tweeted out. And Glenn, it's time to put up or shut up, brother. You have your senior guys. You brought in your dude as de facto DC, and let's see what the fuck you got. Because if not, we're going to be looking for an offensive-minded coach next year.
And it's kind of a weird, I guess, way that this is all broken down, right? So I for one was not happy when Engstrand was let go.
Yeah,
I thought it should have been more like. And I'm kind of surprised it didn't end up happening like this, where Engstrand stayed calling plays and maybe Reich came in to advise and kind of look over the offense and give his feedback and input. Maybe he doesn't want to be that type of guy. Maybe he just wants total control over the offense. Kind of surprised he came back for 1 year to kind of do the favor. almost. But I was really upset to see Engstrand go. I thought he showed a lot of promise, and I kind of wanted to see him with another chance because I feel like at the end of it all, we don't really know what Engstrand really is, right? Like we never really got to see a real shot with him with a legitimate, I guess, quarterback and offense. I mean, we had the offensive line, but by the end of the season, midway through the season, they're 0-7, and then all of a sudden Brady Cook's starting, and he's scheming guys open, but there's nothing to be thrown down the field with Brady Cook. So I am overall okay with where we're at. I do see the potential where this could head south pretty quickly. We'll obviously have a lot of offseason to go, but do you see a world where, and I don't want to get too deep and granular with this, but where this could just flop on its head?
With the Jets, dude, no chance this flops on your head. What the fuck are you talking about? Everything works out that the Jets try to do. No, I mean, absolutely, dude. I think, like, I almost kind of relate this back to Rob Saleh when he brought in all those, like, veteran guys on his staff the year. I think he, like, didn't know. We didn't know we were getting Rodgers yet, but, like, we fired LaFleur, brought in Hackett. Like, he was fresh off of being the head coach of Denver, I think.
Yep.
And you kind of saw like the vision, like Saleh wanted to be in the foxhole with a guy that like had head coaching experience. And obviously that was a fucking disaster. And Mike LaFleur, the guy they hired, just brought him in as the brought him in as offensive coordinator for the Cardinals, which is one of the funniest things ever. I can't believe he did that with his stupid haircut. But yes, absolutely, dude. Whenever you kind of get like a situation where, head coach does this and then you hire a very expensive, experienced guy on the other side of the ball and he does this. I don't know. I feel like we saw it with like Adam Gase and Greg Williams, Dr. Heat, right? Like it was the same thing. We were like, oh, we basically have two head coaches. Sounds good on paper. I just don't know. Like I feel like there's like at some points you can get like a split in the locker room where like who's really, in charge here. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I mean, I have like a trust issues with this team where, yeah, okay, they might have like fallen into, having a decent offensive staff on paper, but at the end of the day, dude, they don't have a quarterback, right? If they fall flat on their face and don't get a quarterback this offseason, none of this shit matters because you could have, Jesus Christ himself calling the plays on offense, and Brady Cook ain't throwing for 30 touchdowns. It's not happening, right? So I think there's a lot to be like left answered, and obviously you can look into like the quarterbacks that Reich likes as like a hint. Maybe a Kirk Cousins, maybe like a Jacoby Brissett was getting floated around, and it can also like hint you on the draft, but. I don't know, man. I think there's just so many variables that still need to play out. And like, we simply do not have, we have me and you at quarterback right now. So it really depends on what they do there. And I can give you like a better answer, but yeah, there's absolutely a chance it flops on his face. They're the fucking Jets. And there's always a strong chance that that's going to happen.
And when I say flop on its face, I mean like 1 win, 2 wins, like really, really bad.
Would that be the worst thing?
No,
and would it be the worst thing?
Well, let's talk about that, right? Like, and I think both of us are pretty reasonable. We can see both sides of the ball here. I wouldn't be, and I don't think a lot of Jets fans would be mad if they finish with 1 or 2 wins this season. And I'm honestly not too convinced that these hires weren't made to not tank the team, but like I'm not sure that Frank Reich in the year 2026 is the formula to win football games and to save Aaron Glenn's job. I really don't see a world in which that was the move to do that, right? I mean, there's not many options left out there.
Right. So, I mean, who's he going to hire? I think for like what it almost feels like Reich like did him a favor. If you've been following like Boomer on the fan ball, I know him and Reich are tight. I mean, it sounds like he legitimately did him a favor and he's like trying to help him out, which it's insane that we're going into like a year like that.
I know.
But I mean, yeah, dude, would it be the worst thing? Absolutely not. It would suck in the moment and nobody wants to hear it because like you have all these guys on Jets Twitter and I can name a few. Like I'm not going to name a few, but we know who I'm talking about that, they make a move and they're laughing at it and they're like, what a bunch of idiots, march for Arch. And it's like, okay, dude, I get like I guess you're rooting for like the long-term, success of the organization. You don't think Glenn's the answer. And maybe like a young quarterback can come in and save the day with an offensive mind. Yeah, I think that's the way to go ultimately. Do I think this is going to work? No, dude, I don't. It's just there's too much proof that it won't work. But I'm not necessarily going into the year like hoping that, Aaron Glenn completely embarrasses himself. Like at the end of the day, like he's a respected guy throughout the organization. Like I just don't feel right completely rooting against them. And I don't know. Like I know that the young quarterback next year, you can get Dante Moore, saying Arch Manning, all these guys, but it is a crapshoot. And, it would definitely be a route if they were to tank this year. They're not surviving though. They would get a new head coach.
Yeah, I mean, here's your daily reminder that the way you root does not impact how the results of the game actually end up. So, I mean, if we could all sit here and I could say, well, yeah, I'd love to see the Jets get Arch Manning. At the same time, I could sit there on opening day and say I want to see my team play well. It's a slim chance, but there is a chance. What if the Jets came out and shocked people and won 8-9 games next year? It's not going to happen. I know it won't, but there's always that sliver, right? You're holding on to some hope. What if they draft Ty Simpson and he comes in week 4 after Kyler Murray's crapping the bed and all of a sudden the kid's like the next big thing? You just don't know. It's a crapshoot, right?
That's what I'm kind of down for. The Ty Simpson you just said, like, bro, I'll like mention it and some people will be like, no, like he sucks. Like, what do you want to throw the pick away? It's like, dude, nobody knows a thing about how these quarterbacks are going to come to the NFL and play. Okay. I don't know it. You don't know it. And user 69420 on Twitter doesn't know it either, right? If they take a swing on Ty Simpson and you're going to sit there and tell me when he comes in, you're not going to be like a little excited to be like, oh, what does this guy have? Like this is a new toy to like either play with or, as a fan base, a new toy to chew up, spit out, and run out of town. And a narrative would start about how we ruin every quarterback. But I don't know, dude. Like, even if it's like a Garrett Nussmeier at 44, I need something. Like, we have nothing. I have nothing to like look forward to. It's all quarterback, dude. Usually there's like, even this year, I was like, what if Justin Fields is Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield or whatever? Like one of those like reclamation things. He looked good week 1. I'm like, holy shit, he might do it. And then obviously it didn't work out. But like, you had that like kind of, I wanted to go to week 1 and I did, and I enjoyed it. I don't know if they don't take anybody in the draft, and Kyler Murray doesn't happen because I'm a sicko and I would buy into Kyler Murray, and I know you would too. I don't know. I don't like want to go to a game if they don't do anything like that.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. You don't want to sit and watch name whatever washed up veteran quarterback is starting. I mean, is Jacoby Brissett really going to get you get your blood flowing? Probably not. My next question is so we'll stay kind of in the quarterback room. I want to see like what your thoughts are, and if you had to pick today, and I know again a lot of offseason left. It's February, I think 4th today, and the Jets don't have a staff on the offensive or defensive side of the ball right now, so that needs to get filled out first. Obviously, Reich is going to have a big say in who the quarterback is. Kind of a two-sided question here. First part is, how do you think they're going to approach the quarterback room this year? And where and who do you think the rookie quarterback is going to be selected? Because I'm in the camp where they're taking a quarterback in the draft. There's not a world where they're not. I've seen some ideas floated that they'll go defense, wide receiver, defense, or something like that. They're taking a quarterback in the first 44 picks. I can almost guarantee it. But I want to hear your thoughts on like how they're going to approach the quarterback room and who you think that guy's going to be in the draft, if you think that there will be.
Yeah. Going to my head right now, I think it ends up being, I think they're going to end up taking Ty Simpson at 16, and I think they're going to sign like a Kirk Cousins. There's two ways they can go about this. That's like the way I just listed that is probably the smart thing to do. Really, if you're going to take the swing, I know people are going to bitch about it. If you're going to take the swing on Ty Simpson, who's clearly QB2 in this draft, You got to get a Kirk Cousins in front of him and, let him start for 6 games. Kirk gets hurt or whatever, and Ty Simpson comes in. Or, and there's like a fork in the road, or you have Demon Woody Johnson come in and say, fuck it, I want Kyler Murray and I want to sell tickets and I want all the hoes, right? Like that could be an option, right? I don't think they're going to do that. I saw like Connor Hughes float the idea. I don't necessarily agree. I think it would be an unmitigated disaster. I think Woody Johnson, like as old and senile as he is, I think he could even see that it probably wouldn't be the best thing for the culture of the locker room. So I would say Kirk Cousins, Ty Simpson, that's your QB room.
So do you think, and that I guess maybe my next question, I've seen this floated around a ton with the double, kind of like the Giants approach where you get another veteran quarterback. Do you feel like there's going to be that barrier where it's like veteran, rookie with like the second guy almost being that Tyrod where he's more of like a mentor and the Kirk can actually play and stay healthy-ish?
I would love that. And I think, people say the Giants. I think the Eagles actually originated this. I think they had Nick Foles, Chase Daniels, and Carson Wentz in the same QB room, and they paid both. I think they paid Chase Daniels, and Nick Foles was under contract, and then they took Wentz. And I remember thinking that it was like 2017. We were young, but like I was like, I like that. They're burying this kid under the depth chart. He's a raw, like talented guy. I like that move. Yeah, I think, and Joe Flacco kind of proves this too. You have like those veterans that want to go out there, they want to sling it, and they want to get some more of that backup quarterback money. Their job isn't to babysit Ty Simpson, right?
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor is like different, right? He's definitely done as a starter in the NFL. If you give him like $5 million, $6 million to sit on the bench and, kind of go through everything, go through the process as like a respected veteran with a guy like Ty Simpson or Garrett Nussmeier or whoever, I think that's worthwhile, right? And again, this conversation sucks. This should be Dante Moore, by the way. It really should be.
That's that conversation, and we had our differences with this. Like, I wasn't happy that Dante Moore, and we don't have to get into the rabbit hole of Dante Moore.
We won't.
I really do think that that's probably for the best in the end. And I understand it could attract a coaching, prospect next year. I just think overall, if we're going to get Dante Moore and it's meant to be, it'll be in 2027.
Yeah.
My gut says I love the idea of how the Giants approached it, to be honest. I think that was really smart by them. Gave them a buffer. And I mean, I think Dart definitely, he reaped the benefits of that for sure. I don't see the Jets doing it. I think it is going to be like a Kirk. And I don't think, God, I really am high on Ty Simpson. I always have been. I thought he got a unfair shake by the media and like fans around just because of the injuries he was battling towards the end there. Like he was really beaten. He was battered. I think they're going to go Garrett Nussmeier. I think they're going to do it at the top of the second round. And I think he'll probably start by like week 6 or 7, maybe like that part. I didn't mean to do that. That was not an intentional thing, the 6-7 thing. Yeah, no, yeah. That's not what I was going for.
Sure,
but
buddy.
For me, my mind is like 75% the future right now. So I think about, God, if you take a Ty Simpson at 16 and he really looks like crap, you start to say, wow, we really could have had X receiver at 16. And that would have been great for our rookie quarterback as we won 2 games and have the number 1 overall pick. I mean, obviously hindsight 2020, but I almost feel like they have to load up on talent, at least in the first round, and get the quarterback in the second or third round. That's my viewpoint today. I would not by any means be angry if they took Ty Simpson, though. I think it's going to have to be in the top 20. I don't think he makes it past the top 20 as of how it stands today. He could even shoot up further. Hell, there's so much left of the process, right?
Yeah, dude, like these guys always end up going a little higher than we expect. It's so early. I bet you like Garrett Nussmeier ends up going higher too. Teams are desperate, dude. You think the Steelers don't want like, a plan at quarterback right now? They have nothing.
Literally nothing.
If Rodgers retires, they have nothing. They have Mason Rudolph and
Will Howard.
I think these guys are going to like raise. It's going to be like that, like Kenny Pickett range of like gross. I can't. It's similar to last draft. Cam Ward, and then like Jackson Dart, Shuck, all these like late, mid, whatever, first to second rounders, and but I could see it, right? And maybe it comes to a point where like you might have to trade up from 16 to get Ty Simpson. Who the fuck knows, right? We'd all be excited if he kills this process and we end up getting him. Like it's just the case.
I still have a good feeling about him, and I'm superstitious. I could see this is the dumbest thing I would say, and I tell people I preface it by saying it's dumb, but I believe in the breaking the Alabama curse. Like I truly believe it. Like at this point, the playoff drought is so long, and we've seen so much better. We were 12 years old the last time this team made the playoffs. I'm starting to believe almost anything at this point that this team is under some sort of curse. Like obviously, I'm not 100% serious, but
I am. I believe you.
I mean, 16 years is a long damn time, man. Like
16.
like 16. Like I tell you right now, like, and I told you this, it was a couple weeks ago. Like, can you imagine talking to yourself, like your past self when the Jets made the playoffs, and telling you that 12-year-old boy, hey man, you're in for a long 16 years because they're not going to make the playoffs. Like your younger self almost wouldn't believe you
Bro, that's longer than we were alive at that point by 4 years.
I know.
We have lived a life in which we would be getting our driver's license this year since the Jets made the playoffs.
Which is insane.
I'm turning 28 in 2 weeks. Like that is insane. Whatever.
It's actually nuts. Yeah, that was not meant to be a rant, but that was more just saying like that's kind of where I'm at with this. I'm kind of believing anything. Kind of get us back on track here. Want to throw a question out. I tweeted it out today. It's so early. Like all of these questions, I'm going to preface saying by February 4th, we don't even have a coaching staff. How many, like, what is the amount of wins next year where you're like, Glenn did it? Glenn actually saved his job. What is that? And what is that going to look like next year? Is it an eye test? Is it winning? What is it?
I think see, this is a fun question, right? Because you imagine that Glenn, they draft like responsibly. They sign like Jacoby Brissett, or they trade for Jacoby Brissett. They draft Arvell Reese at 2, Mekhi Lemon at 16. They take a DT at 33, and then like whatever, like a safety or whatever, an off-ball linebacker at 44 in any order, whatever you want to do. And they're just missing that QB. Could you imagine that happens? They win like 8 games, and like Glenn has them playing hard, all this stuff, right? But like the talent is like undeniable. Like the defense, Arvell Reese is a fucking animal. They have the linebacker situation filled out. The offensive line is great, all this stuff. And then like the Colts, like just get like the number 1 pick. Could you imagine that scenario? Now, I've just reverse Uno this question. Would you fire Glenn and have by far the most attractive job on the market if he wins 8 games? Could you do that to him?
You could hypothetically do anything, right? Like,
but what would you do?
What would I do? That would depend, like who I'm getting. Who is on the market? Is it KOC? Is it Tomlin?
Yeah, like everyone. I'm doing it in a second.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, if I have those options, like it then becomes like, yeah, dude, you're out unless you like made the playoffs, and which is like almost impossible. That's why I feel like the bar is so high for him to try to clear at this point. He's dug himself like so far below like where anyone thought he would be. I think he kind of got back to surface level mid-season when we started playing some teams well, but then that last stretch of 5 or 6 games, he really tanked himself. He really did.
The especially too. Funny enough.
And of course the team did too. But that's where, and I know you don't like to talk about it, where all of the press conference stuff and the way he carries himself comes into play. You can't carry yourself a certain way, and then we saw the progression of how it went as he was getting his ass kicked throughout the season, and the team just started to look like shit. So I think that kind of plays into how he dug himself into a hole. Kind of got off topic here. Okay, so
8 wins. 8 wins.
8 wins.
If the normal scenario plays out, like they don't. If they look good, competitive, they're like in the hunt. He gets them to 8 wins. Then it's like, okay, now you kind of have like that Lions trajectory, right? Because I think they won 9 games Dan Campbell's second year. So it's like you stunk ass. Then you had a full offseason in like your real year 1. You try to get quarterback and see how far it can take you, man. Like I think if they win 8 games, you don't fire him, right? Dude, we haven't won 8 games since when? Who won 8 games the last time for us? I don't know.
2015 with Bulls, yeah.
Because Gase didn't break 8. He
Gase
didn't.
didn't. Salah got 7. It was Bulls in 2015 when they went 10-6.
20, bro. We haven't won 8 games in 11 years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So if this guy comes in and bro, we would all like him by then too. Like if they're playing hard and they're winning a game, I think this conversation completely flips. But it becomes like a question of like, all right, how long is Frank Reich going to be here? Because like the offense might look good, but like, is he going to retire? I don't know. This is scaring me a little bit. I don't know, man.
Those are good problems to have. If that is the case, then you're like, all right, well, who's Reich going to bring in? Because Reich is saying that this is going to be a 1-year type of deal where he's going to kind of go off into the sunset after this, and it is what it is. I'm hoping
right?
that I think that's kind of what the deal is, right? I'm not sure he's close to retirement. Like he's essentially like towing the line of retirement with the job in Stanford and now coming here. Like again, this is a kind of a negative outlook on it, but I really hope he's not just kind of doing a favor and kind of getting some money and that's it. I mean, I feel like he's not. I don't know Frank Reich at all. So seems like a good guy for
Frank Reich's a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew Frank. Yeah, guy went to high school with him in Jersey or something.
Yeah, Frank Reich was fucking 50 the last time the Jets made the playoffs.
God, it's just horrible. But yeah, all right, let's wrap it up with this. Who are we taking it to? Who are the Jets selecting it to today? I am prefacing it by saying it is February 4th. So,
oh God, I think I know. I think I know who they're going to take, and you can clip me on this.
Oh, I will.
I think this is going to be a fairly chalk pick of Arvell Reese at number 2 by the time, the betting odds come out and all that good stuff. I think it's just going to be Arvell Reese, dude. He's a mammoth. Like I saw a picture of him. I was like, he's that big. And this guy plays like off-ball linebacker. He can play dude. This guy is Micah Parsons. I'm telling you, he's like that. It's that type of player. I think he's going to successfully make the transition. I think he's going to test like an absolute freak at the combine. And Bain, Bain has the short arms. It scares me a little bit. Like I get he's a absolute game wrecker, but like I don't know. Let another team take the risk on him. David Bailey, great prospect. I think he's an absolute demon off the edge. Decent against the run. I just think he's a little bit more of like that like specialist. I get it. He can play the run better than like a Will McDonald, but I want a complete player. And like I want a 3-down player, and I think that's Arvell Reese.
I totally agree with you, so I'm not going to echo you, but I will ask this question. How angry would you be if the Jets ended up taking a wide receiver prospect at the number 2 pick?
I mean, Carnell Tate, like, if they take Carnell Tate at number 2, if they take Lemon at 2, I'd be like, okay. I think Lemon's going to be great. I think he's going to be like, you could see the JSN. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can see it. He's like not uber athletic, but like, he's a great route runner, great hand. Like he checks every box. He's just like not that tall and not like all freak athletically. If you take like Carnell Tate number 2, I'd be like, okay, weird, but like you have the Jamar Chase and T Higgins scenario now. Like you got it. So
plus whatever you get in free agency, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, like let's see it, but I'd be shocked, right? I mean, I'd be really surprised.
Yeah, no, I would too. But again, it's super early. We got months of, we got combine coming up. A lot of things can change. You get pro days, obviously. I'm kind of like scarred by hearing the word pro day just because of Zach Wilson, to be completely honest with you. The bomb throw, flying off the draft boards, people fall in love, yada, yada, yada. That's why I think, and I'm not saying he's the same type of player, but like Ty Simpson, I feel like through the process could start to creep up. And all of a sudden you were talking about Ty Simpson at 33, then you're talking about 16, and all of a sudden you're talking about taking him 2. So
and we're talking about him right now. We're talking about him at 2.
We are.
Could happen.
All right. So let's wrap it up.
Let's give like a little like rundown of the show, what to expect. I don't think we should have. I'm glad we didn't open with that and bore people.
Absolutely. I agree. So we are no longer on the Badlands feed. Shout out to Badlands, though. It was a lot of fun being on there throughout the season. Shout out to Connor, Joe, for the opportunity. It was great. We are now on Spotify, on Apple, on YouTube, on Patreon. Go join the Patreon. Now everything's first class. We just changed the Twitter, so it's the same Twitter. It's F1 First Class Pod. So First Class Pod with just a 1. We had to had to take advantage of that, obviously. We'll be dropping these pretty much every Thursday. We're going to try to do weekly spaces as well. Those probably won't be like nailed down consistent, but obviously like breaking news will probably drop a podcast, I would say.
Day of. Let's just do day of. We're negotiating with each other live on air.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we just started exactly.
I'm making all this day of. And yeah, dude, we could do some fucking fun shit. Like, you know, if you're not available, we can do like a solo thing. Like, this is gonna be a lot more free flowing, and we're just gonna be talking shop, man. It's gonna be fun, and gonna try to do like live videos on the Twitter. I'm running the Twitter right now. If anybody wants to help me out, we'll give you the password and you can start tweeting from there. But right now, I'm talking to myself on my 2 Twitter accounts on my phone, so it's usually.
I don't know if you noticed when the Jets hired Reich, I actually tweeted something out and then saw you tweeted something out from it, and I deleted mine instantly.
I did not even see that. I was probably taking a dump at work and was oh shit, they got Reich, and I just
yeah, guy posts a Peter Griffin dancing emoji, and I'm just like, all right, I guess mine's just garbage, whatever.
Oh god, it was the best one like of all time, and it was myself that liked it.
I didn't even see that. That's great though. So yeah, we're going to keep it rolling here. Every Thursday we're going to drop. Obviously open to suggestions. If you guys want to see some stuff, if you guys want to see some live stuff, we'll do live stuff. We'll
get you guys on here.
What do you say? Yeah.
Like call-ins or something. I don't know.
We will. We have been debating call-ins or questions. If you guys want to do the voicemails, we will. Maybe I'll get this clip going on Twitter right here. And if we want to do the call-ins, I'll set up a Google number and we'll do them. I don't care. It'll be fun. With that being said, though, I think we'll leave it at that. A nice half-hour episode. Go follow us on the Twitter. Go follow Patreon, and thank you guys for the support. Peace out.